Hi Geminis, welcome to my YouTube channel, and in this video I'm going to talk about the transits for the month of September. September is interesting. It's not as eventful as August. We have only one new moon and one full moon, but the thing is, at the very beginning we have 6 planets in retrograde. That's like more than half of the solar system in retrograde. And so it's gonna feel frustrating, it's gonna feel slow, it's gonna feel as though we're walking through glue. But that is only at the beginning of the month, because Venus and Mercury are gonna turn direct in September, thankfully, because they are inner planets, and when personal planets are retrograde, we can feel it in our daily life. But when they turn direct, things ease up a little bit, things become better, at least in our daily routine. Outer planets, we don't feel them that much because they go retrograde every year for like half of the year almost. But it doesn't mean we don't feel them. It's just you just have to be very observant to notice them. While inner planet retrogrades, you don't even have to be super observant to notice problems. Well, I hope you guys can hear me. It's very windy. Okay, so as usually, I begin with analyzing the planets, the outer planets first. So Pluto, the furthest one from the sun, is the one that kind of creates the biggest background to our life. And Pluto is in Capricorn. It has been in there for the past 15 years. And if you've noticed, it has been transforming corporations, banks, institutions, governments in general. Okay. And those transformations for you Geminis, that has been happening in your 8th house. So yes, in the house of shared resources, intimacy. If you have planets in Cancer, like Venus or Mercury in Cancer, in the late degrees of Cancer especially, you can feel the opposition from Pluto, so it can't be intense. But please don't worry, because we are almost at the finish line of this transit. After 15 years, it's finally gonna leave your 8th house and enter your 9th house. Next, Neptune in Pisces has been spewing out fake news from your 10th house for the past 10 years. Yeah, it's been a decade this year. And so Neptune rules collective subconscious, and if you've noticed, everyone is mentally ill nowadays. I'm just exaggerating, but you get my point. And like even the news, fake news, nobody's trying to be objective anymore. Even the most respectable newspapers, like the New York Times, they don't even pretend to be objective. They straight up try to recruit you into their whatever philosophy. And that's not right. Journalism has to be objective. Anyway, Geminis, so Neptune has been in your 10th house. 10th house is your social standing, your image. And Neptune in the 10th house can make you glamorous. When it comes to your work, you've probably been creative, because Neptune, when it's in good shape, when it's good, it can make you very creative. It can give you divine inspiration almost. So those of you in creative fields, I would say milk this transit as much as you can. Next, Uranus in Taurus. So Geminis, for you, that is your 12th house. Uranus in the 12th house, that should be interesting. It's the very last house, it's the house of our subconscious, and Uranus is surprises. So I don't know, some surprises coming to the surface from your subconscious, I guess. I don't know, maybe you've been having weird dreams, because the 12th house is dreams. And so what else? Jupiter is also in your 12th house until next May, and then it's going to enter your sign. So Jupiter in your 12th house, again, your spirituality. Maybe you'll think about spirituality more than usual. and because Jupiter used to rule the 12th house. It used to rule Pisces. I mean, it's still associated with Pisces. Yeah, so Jupiter technically feels comfortable in your 12th house. Yeah, it can be like I don't know, like guardian angel. uh, yeah, and then the inner planets on September 3rd, as I mentioned earlier, or September 4th, depending on where you live. I mean, like for most of the world, like so Venus is gonna station direct on the 12th degree of Leo. It has been retrograde since July 22nd, but finally it's gonna station direct. So the goddess of love and finances is gonna wake up. So if you've been having relationship issues and stuff, like finally it's gonna be over. Like things are gonna start going back to normal. So I hope this retrograde period helped you to evaluate your values, evaluate your finances, solve issues in your relationships. If you've been in a toxic relationship, I hope you found the courage to leave that relationship. Yeah, because retrogrades provide like hindsight, 2020 vision. Yeah, so I hope you were able to solve whatever problems you had. For you, this retrograde happened in your third house, and third house is like your siblings, neighborhoods, yeah, like classmates, friends, like yeah, neighborhoods, roommates. hmm And now, on September 4th, a day after Venus stations direct, Jupiter turns retrograde. So Jupiter takes up the torch of retrograde from Venus. And it's going to be retrograde until December 3rd, 2023. So until the end of this year. And so, as I said, it's in your 12th house. So subconsciousness, yeah, I guess it would be a good time to seek therapy, because you will be able to understand your subconscious thoughts with the help of Uranus, with innovative approach, and Jupiter, yeah, giving you that like ability to see the big picture. And so, what else? On September 6th, we have the last quarter moon in Gemini, in your sign. So this marks the beginning of a week where not much happens. Yeah, last quarter moon is a time of like readjusting things and getting ready for the next lunar month. Think of it as like a stage. So the stage has been decorated in like Leo themes. Since August, but now you are like taking down those decorations and hanging like Virgo Virgo themed decorations, okay? Because you are getting ready for the next new moon, like metaphorically speaking. So take this time as like time to recharge your batteries and get energy for the next lunar month, because it's gonna be active. So the Virgo new moon is going to happen on September 14th, but if you are waiting for news, announcements, decisions, message, you can expect them starting from September 12th until like September 16th, or even like you could say 4 days plus or minus that Virgo new moon. Okay, and for you, Geminis, this new moon is going to happen in your fourth house. Fourth house is like our emotional foundations. This is like the fourth house is the place where we live at, the place where we feel safe at. It rules our parents, like at least one of our parents. Yeah, so you can expect some news regarding your parents, one of your parents, like mother, most likely, and then the place where you live at. Maybe you get a new roommate, or maybe you move to a new place. Some Geminis, I mean. For those of you who own a house, maybe you'll be doing some reparations around the house. Yeah, something like that. And so this new moon has a kite aspect. The luminaries will be making an opposition to Neptune in your 10th house. And then we have Pluto and Uranus making a trine to the luminaries in Virgo, in earth signs. So they're all in earth signs. It's like an easy flow of energy. So there is this like groundedness in that new moon, like practicality, efficiency, and then at the same time we have that Neptune making a sextile to those outer planets, Pluto and Uranus, and making an opposition to Virgo moon and sun. So this aspect is associated with like fate, destiny, opportunity for growth. So I feel like this new moon is gonna mark the beginning of a very interesting month. This aspect doesn't happen often, and we've got like generational planets involved in it. And another interesting thing about this new moon is that it's the last new moon before a solar eclipse. Yeah, so this new moon marks the beginning of like a eclipse period. I mean eclipse season, and eclipse season is when the smell of change is in the air, so to speak. There's this like restlessness in everyone. Like try to pay attention. You'll notice that everyone is like restless a little bit because they can feel that changes are coming. Eclipses bring big changes. So yeah, you can expect some news around this new moon because the events the changes associated with the solar eclipse can sometimes play out a month in advance or a month after the solar eclipse itself, or sometimes it can play out around the time of the solar eclipse. So yeah, and so the first half of September is going to be relatively peaceful and uneventful, but the second half of September, starting from this new moon, is going to feel a bit like, yeah, changes will be in the air, starting from that. So beware of that and be ready. And next, Mercury is going to turn direct right after the new moon on September 15th. And again, it's in your fourth house, so home related stuff is like very prominent for you in September. Maybe you will buy new furniture, maybe you'll buy new decorations for your home. And so Mercury is going to turn direct on September 15th. So if you are thinking of renting a new place, I would say sign the contract, sign the lease on September 16th if you can, because when Mercury turns direct, Mercury is at its most confusing when it's about to turn direct or when it just turns retrograde. Yeah, so I would wait to sign the lease if I can until September 16th. But if you cannot, don't worry. So after Mercury turns direct, the Sun is going to enter Libra on September 22nd. Fall equinox, yay, the day and night are equal. So for you, it's going to be your fifth house of romance, creativity, children if you have children, creative self-expression. So all of those things, that area of your life is going to be lit up. And then we have a full moon in Aries on September 29th, on the 6th degree of Aries. And so that is your 11th house. So the full moon is going to be in your 11th house, and the sun is going to be in your 5th house. And yeah, I would expect something like having fun and friendships. Those themes are going to be prominent for you around this full moon. And again, this full moon is the last full moon before a lunar eclipse. We have a lunar eclipse on October 28th in the sign of Scorpio. So the events associated with that lunar eclipse can play out during this full moon. There is a possibility for some Geminis it might play out around this full moon. So be observant, pay attention. Okay, it can be a good change. I mean, good news. So it can be exciting. This full moon itself, though, has very weird aspects. Like, I mean, there's going to be oppositions, conjunctions, and like, so the aspects are going to be all over the place. And I feel like our emotions are going to feel the same way. Yeah, all over the place. But don't worry, like the effects of the full moon, like the peak lasts for like 4 days, plus or minus that full moon. Yeah, after that things should be a little bit more calm. But remember, we will be in this eclipse season, so things are going to be a little bit like hectic. And so this is it, Geminis, for September. As I mentioned earlier, it's not as eventful as August, but September marks the beginning of the marks the beginning of the eclipse season. So be prepared. Get rest in the first half of September, and then the second half is gonna be hectic. And what else? The personal planets, Venus and Mercury, are gonna turn direct. Mercury is actually your ruling planet, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Yeah. So when it turns direct, your daily life is gonna go back to normal. Mm, what else? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked this video, please subscribe. And those of you who are subscribed, I would like to thank you for taking your time to watch my videos. I have subscribers from so many different countries. I was pleasantly surprised. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.